No way.
Oh, what?
This time, I delve into the murky history and secrets of World War II spies.
That's an assassination pencil. Inside there is a blade. That's awesome.
On a shopping trip to Italy, I find my holy grail. This thing's history personified. Back in Blighty, the lads bring 2 wartime rocket launchers back from the grave.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Push, 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 go on.
And selling them is a blast. I'm Bruce Crompton. I buy, fix up and sell old military kit.
What sort of figure are you looking for?
€1 million. Yeah? Sounds like a deal. Hoots is my right-hand man. He keeps an eye on the cash.
We've got to make a profit on it.
Ex-Para Freddy is my weapons expert.
Warren!
Twins Nick and Phil run the workshop. There ain't a military machine out there they can't fix.
Don't say that!
There are worse jobs.
Yeah, that's what people keep saying. France. The beaches of Calais. According to Hitler, one of the most pivotal locations of the entire war. Convinced the Allies would invade here, Hitler turned this into a fortress, which he called the Atlantic Wall. And you can still see the colossal concrete batteries built here to house massive guns, aimed at England's south coast. Ah, look at the view. That's England. That is it. You can see England. See it over there? That's England. With a range of over 50 kilometres, these giant German cannons could easily reach British soil and were a constant threat. The remnants of these massive gun batteries are still around today, but sadly have become a canvas for local graffiti artists. Look at the sizes.
Imagine how many troops must have been stationed in just this one bunker.
So you imagine your little Fritz posted here and you are constantly on alert, waiting for the biggest armada to hit these beaches. It's no wonder that some of the most important war museums in the world are located here. I've been invited to the Fortitude Museum by the owner, a chap called Eric Barl. And when a player like this calls, I jump. Have a look.
Wow. That's been well displayed, hasn't it?
Well, he's got one of the best collections in Europe. It's awesome, mate. I feel like a kid in a toy shop, but a rather sad kid, because none of the toys are for sale. They've recreated a real shop that serviced the German army in Paris. A lot of this stuff was actually made in France as well. In all of Nazi-occupied Europe, people traded and interacted with the Germans. It's easy to condemn, but it's not so straightforward if you're a poor, terrified tradesman trying to feed his starving family and the SS knocks on the door. Eric.
Hey,
hello,
Bruce.
mate. Yeah, nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
And I've got to say, this is probably the best collection of uniform I've seen anywhere. But what is that?
That's a very rare handmade coffin. It was made by French resistance, and they put in the letterbox of person who collaborate with the German. And it's written, "We won't forget you at the liberation."
It's a warning to say that you're going to get it when they get liberated, yeah?
Exactly.
Well, dear, oh dear. So, Eric, what can I do for you?
As you can see, we have many items concerning the French resistance, but now we look to expand the collection with more items from any country, about spying, resistance, or everything concerning this.
Despite Europe being under the jackboot, there were some people who fought back. The French resistance were probably the most well-known World War II spies, but hundreds of thousands risked their lives in resistance movements in all German-occupied countries, from Poland to Denmark. The problem is, covert activities, by their very nature, get less attention than open military action. So the activities of some of the bravest fighters and spies, men and women who risk torture and execution, have gone unrecognised and unrecorded.
This stuff's going to be like nails to find, isn't it?
That's why we would love you to help us to find them.
Eric's French resistance section in his museum is impressive, but finding super rare spy items relating to other countries is going to be tough. Tough, but not impossible.
Eric, I'm your man, so leave it with us. I'll see what I can do. OK,
very much.
thanks a lot.
Thank
Cheers
you.
then.
That's my challenge set, but I'm not the only one who has their work cut out.
Listen, I better give the dynamic duo a call. I left them a note to make sure them Panzerschrecks get finished.
Panzerschrecks are a German anti-tank rocket launcher, and I've left the twins 2 rusty ones dug up from a battlefield as an early Christmas present. I want them restored and working for a big client of mine. He's an armourer who supplies weapons for the film industry.
What's he done here? That's pretty. It's a present of a load of rust. Morning, gentlemen. These are Panzerschrecks. Please try to work your magic by any means possible. Have fun, Bruce.
American rocket-powered anti-tank weapons called bazookas were so effective the Germans wanted their own.
The answer was the Panzerschreck.
Soldiers would hide in hedgerows with them, and then when an unsuspecting tank came along, boom!
These Panzerschreck look like solid rust. Making them fire again will take a miracle.
They've been in the ground for about 70 years.
Look at it, yeah. It's one thing restoring a vehicle found in a barn, but a rocket launcher fresh from the ground?
I hope our tetanus jabs are up to date.
What on earth are we going to do with them? Earth.
Sandblasting in this condition would crumble them into nothing. Maybe if we... about that electrolysis.
Well, we'll give it a try, see what happens. We can't, nothing to lose, have you, really? Electrolysis is a way of separating rust from metal using electricity. You put your rusty whatever in a bath and electrocute it.
Don't try this at home.
Lower this in.
This is the first time we've ever done this, so it's quite exciting.
Have a 12-volt transformer, which is more than enough. The Panzerschreck and a metal plate are connected with wires to make an electric circuit. That's there. You need a good connection on there, yeah? Cleaned up. We're adding soda crystals, which will make the water even better at conducting electricity.
I could sprinkle this in there.
Yeah, just put... Then we turn on the power and remember not to put our hands in the water. We have liftoff.
It looks like it's working already. The current is separating the rust molecules from the metal. But there's a lot of rust to get through.
It's not a quick process, so...
We'll leave it overnight.
Yeah, see what it's like in the morning.
It's a cracking piece of Dorset countryside we're in here, Bruce, but who is it we're coming to see?
Well, we're going to see Oliver Barnum. You've met him with me before. I mean, he's been a friend of mine for donkey's years.
The curator of one of Calais' most important museums has commissioned yours truly to find spy tackle relating to different countries. So I'm off to see Oliver. He's an eccentric collector with an eye for the obscure. I know he's had surveillance kit before, so if anybody's got spy gear, it's him.
Oliver, good morning, sir. Nice to see you. Sonny Sherborne. How you doing, all right?
Welcome. Not too
Remember Freddie? Can I be nosy?
Of course you can. You always are.
What's up there, anything?
There are a few bits and bobs.
Freddie, have a look up there. You're like Spider-Man. Come on.
Please have a good rummage. I'm under great pressure from Colette to get rid of as much as I possibly can.
Well, listen, if you want to, we could clear the lot out and I'll do it for nothing.
Oh, what a nice man.
I like Oliver's wife, Colette, a lot, especially when she gets her old man to sell off his stuff.
Bruce,
What is it?
this says England on it,
Right.
but then everything else in here is in German, so...
What's this? Handbag. Oh, blooming hell. God, thanks for that. What are these then, Oliver? Maps?
It's more than just maps. It's town plans, a description of each town.
The German ones?
Yeah, prepared by the Germans for the invasion of England.
Operation Sea Lion?
Yes.
Operation Sea Lion was Hitler's master plan to conquer Great Britain. If it had been successful, how different our lives would be today. Hitler had Nazi spies secretly operating here years before war was declared. They posed as holidaymakers and sent back all sorts of information, like locations of power plants and dams that would help them with the invasion. Luckily, the brave pilots of the RAF thrashed the Luftwaffe in the Battle of Britain. Without control of the skies, Operation Sea Lion was a dead duck.
They're in beautiful condition. They are brand new, aren't they?
Well, fortunately, they've never been used.
No, no, no.
Yes.
What's this one? I mean, this is a town.
That's Ipswich.
Let's have a look here. So what are these then?
These are numbered items here. You've got the key on the side.
Look, the station, factory, chemical works, look, everything here, and they're clearly marked. It's like an encyclopedia for people that are going to go and try and blow the place to pieces. I mean, what sort of money would you want for these, Oliver?
Well, bearing in mind the rarity and the fact that there are almost 200 separate documents here, I wouldn't really want to let it go under 2,500.
Ooh, £2,500.
Yeah.
That's a little bit rich for me. I mean, they are rare. There's no question about it.
It is a complete set.
Complete set. 1,500 quid.
£2,000.
Excuse me, thank you.
For anybody interested in wartime espionage, these documents are priceless. Easily worth the money and a perfect exhibit for Eric's museum.
This is the thing I really wanted to show you. It may not look very much.
A sandwich box.
One German spy radio set.
Ah, now that is exactly the sort of thing that I'm really trying to find.
Produced by the German intelligence organisation, the Abwehrs.
Blimmin' hell. Does this work?
Yes. This comes out and gets plugged in there. So...
Oh, blimmin' hell, look, little Morse code kit.
The Abwehr was Hitler's spy agency, the Nazi MI6. Unfortunately for Hitler, the German head of intelligence and many Abwehr agents secretly hated him because of what the Nazi ideology was doing to the world. Agents regularly leaked information to the Allies. They helped Jews escape Germany. And they were even involved in assassination attempts on Hitler. In February 1944, Hitler was forced to abolish his own intelligence agency. It would make a great film, The Spy Who Hated Me.
What sort of value are these things?
I've never heard of a German one being offered on the market.
Right.
I'd be looking for 2.5.
2.5 grand?
Yes.
You can't even get Radio 1 on it. 2 grand.
£2,000.
How's that?
Oh. All right.
2 grand, yeah?
£2,000, OK.
All right, done.
All right.
How amazing's this? A German spy radio very possibly used to double-cross the Nazis. It's going to be with a very heavy heart that I hand this over to Eric.
What's that?
That thing, that's a bit of a V1.
Is it? So this is for a V1 flying bomb?
Correct.
Vengeance 1, I understand,
Correct.
yeah?
Yep.
This is the instrument that, when you see them in the films, they're flying along, they just stop. It was a clockwork motion.
Correct. Yep.
Look at that.
The V1, or Vengeance 1, as the name suggests, was the forerunner of the V2, Hitler's top-secret Wunderwaffe, or wonder weapon. In the last weeks of the war, British and American spies were sent to capture the Nazi rocket scientists who designed it, to stop them going and doing the same thing for the Russians. And heading the British spy operation was none other than Ian Fleming, who would go on to create James Bond. The V1 bomb is just the sort of arch-villain superweapon that 007 would have had to try to stop with seconds to spare.
Nice little quirky thing I find interesting. How much would that be, Oliver? Mates rates, obviously.
50 quid.
Done. There you go.
Okay.
I ain't even going to argue that. 50 quid, yeah. It's my new alarm clock.
Ah.
You know, no, except it's going to blow me to bits when it goes off.
50 quid for the ticking brain of a supervillain's bomb.
Well, that was all right, you know. We've ended up with a nice bit of spy kit. I would think that our client is going to be very, very happy with that, believe me.
I'm doing well so far, but when it comes to espionage and resistance, the real action was happening not in Blighty, but over in Europe. So that's where I'm heading next.
What we got here, is this cooked yet, you reckon? Oh, ugh, that's disgusting. Bruce has asked us to turn a heap of rust into a working German bazooka, or Panzerschreck. We've left it to soak overnight in water, charged with electricity.
Now to see if the magic alchemy has worked.
I hope it's not just the 2 handles sticking out here. All right, here we go then. Ooh. Oh, wow, look at that. Goodness me. You wouldn't have thought that would do that, would you?
That was really thick on there.
Yeah. I mean, that was... Ooh, it looks promising, but I wonder how much of the rocket launcher is left underneath all that brown goo. Give it a rinse off. I'll keep that away. A quick squirt with a hose and a brush down, and we should have a clean Panzerschreck.
Or no Panzerschreck.
It's taken it right back to bare metal, hasn't it? This is amazing. The Panzerschreck has come back from the grave. It looks a bit battered, but with a bit of luck, it'll fire again. A quick coat of red oxide primer to stop the rust returning. And then a coat of colour. The Germans called Dunkelgelb. Well, this is how it would have come from the factory, just in this plain colour. Like vehicles, Panzerschrecks were issued in this light yellow-brown paint. Then camouflage colours were added by the soldiers, depending on the landscape they were hiding in. I mean, the more random, the better. I've lost... Where is it? Is it there? Where at? Yeah, that looks pretty good, that does. It's better than the old Sistine Chapel. Job done. Bruce wants this Panzerschreck to fire again to impress a client, so we need to send it off to the armourers to make sure it's battle ready and firing fit.
Lovely country.
See, I'll take all the best places tonight, you know.
I've left Freddie back in Blighty and grabbed Moneyman Hoos instead. We've come to Italy on the hunt for historic spy gear. I've been given the name of a bloke here with a special interest in wartime codes and communications.
His name's Marrow.
Mario?
No, Marrow. He's as in the marrow, right?
I've never met him or seen his collection, but I'm told it's impressive.
Right, this sat-nav's all up the Swanee.
All we got to do is find it.
Right, round to the right. Now, round to the left.
You sure we're going the right way? Seriously?
Go round here. We're lost.
Great spy's weird, mate. We've packed a sat-nav that's struggling to find Italy.
That's their...
No, mate, it's a mud road, mate.
OK. We've been round here once and we're going round in circles. Excuse-yo. No, she's basically telling me jog on. In here.
Right, gotcha.
Here. This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Here he is. Let's go. See what he's got to say.
Hello.
Marrow, good morning. Sorry it took so long. We got a bit lost. This is Hoos.
Nice to meet you.
You have a wonderful collection, I've been told.
No way.
Oh, what?
Blooming hell.
Wow!
Congratulations, sir. That's fantastic. Blooming hell, Hoos. Look at this lot.
Very nice.
It's like a James Bond movie set, this place.
Mario's stuff is so well organised, definitely more of a collector than a dealer. But you can't do one without the other, and it looks like he's got more than he can handle right now.
This is interesting, Mario. What is this?
This is a flag used during the First World War for communication, like Morse code.
Yeah.
And look at the spring.
Yes.
When you make this, it's coming wide. So you can make a short wide, you make a dot. You make a long wide, you make a line.
Morse code was invented in the 19th century in America for their newfangled electric telegraph system. It's a clear, concise way of sending a message, but the problem using it in war is that everybody knows it. To get around this, in World War I, each country had its own encrypted variations, known as trench codes. They would communicate it via telephone or blinking flags.
Is that for sale?
No, sorry.
It's very clever.
Marrow really loves his stuff, but I wish he loved it a little bit less, because I really need to buy something.
Hoos, come over and have a look at this. Now, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to listen and learn. This thing is history personified.
A typewriter.
No.
A typewriter? This is the holy grail of military antiques. This is the famous Enigma machine. This machine represented what the Germans believed to be a totally unbreakable coding system. And Marrow's got one sat in his warehouse. I'm speechless. We all know the story of Alan Turing and his team at Bletchley Park. They invented a huge automatic calculating machine to decipher the German code. It was in effect the world's first computer. But it's a lesser-known fact that years earlier, a brilliant Polish cryptographer named Marian Rejewski had already laid the groundwork how to crack the Enigma's code. Armed with Rejewski's work and Turing's groundbreaking computer, the supposedly uncrackable code was cracked.
This machine, because our people broke the codes, helps win the war. There's no question about it.
These machines were complex, so pay attention. Inside this Enigma, there's room for 3 rotors, chosen out of a set of 5, and changed daily. To decode a message, the receiver needs to put in the same rotor in the same order, tuned to the same position as the sender. Every time you press a key, at least one rotor changes position, in effect, changing the code.
To quickly show you, if I press G, B lights up. If I press G again, X lit up. The combinations were billions.
So, is there a lot of these, or are they rare now?
They are ultra rare. Not many survived. There was one at Bletchley Park, the original one, and that was valued at £100,000. And I've got to ask you, Mara, would this be for sale?
No. I prefer to sell my wife than this.
You sell your wife, I'll give you hoose.
There's only a tiny number of Enigmas in private hands, so I'm not surprised that Mauro is unwilling to part with his. It's nice to even touch one, but I need to find something else spy-related that I can buy for Eric's museum.
Is this a German light messenger?
Yes.
For sending messages without radio, yeah? What is it called?
Lichtbrecherachse.
Licht means light. Sprecht means speak. You speak into it and it turns your voice into light, which can be turned back into sound if you have the right receiver. It was invented not by the Germans, but by a Scotsman, Alexander Graham Bell, 4 years after he had patented the telephone. He called it a photophone, and the canny Germans adapted it to send secret orders.
Is there any way that it could have been intercepted?
Yes, if somebody your size stood in front of it.
Shut up!
You know? But it's a clever bit of kit. Maro, is that for sale?
Yes.
What would be the price for this?
Be something like €2,000.
OK. Taking an offer, I mean, if I offered you 1,200, 1,200.
We can make half, 1,600.
1,500.
OK.
Thank you.
Now this makes me happy. It's just the kind of James Bond-style covert communications gizmo that will bring Eric's museum collection alive. Mauro had the tackle I'd hoped for, but he wouldn't sell much. I've got a near-empty van, and I've still got to find more bits for Eric's museum.
Well, are they going to have what we're looking for, the spy and resistance stuff that we're after?
You never know, like, we might strike out, so keep your fingers crossed. A French museum asked me to buy up as much World War II spy kit as I can find. I saw a lot of lovely bits in Italy. Problem was, most of it weren't for sale. But I'm en route to an old dealer mate of mine up in leafy Hertfordshire who says he has some spy items that might suit.
I know I'm going to see about 200 other things I want to buy. You have got to stop me spending my hard-earned cash.
Bruce is so easily distracted. We're here for resistance and espionage stuff only.
Nice place, mate.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh. It's got to be in the garage, as he said, isn't it? Here we go.
Here, have a look at this.
Bruce, how you doing?
Listen, this is a fair old setup you got here, isn't it? Blooming hell.
Yeah, we like to have everything on display so we can enjoy it.
Yeah. It's awesome, mate.
Daniel's got a fair bit of stock and it's nicely presented for a change.
That's really nice. The 42 helmet, look, SS helmet.
A helmet? That is not what we're here for.
We're only here for other stuff, yeah?
Daniel, can you explain what that actually is?
Did the resistance use that?
3,000.
Yeah, 3,000. Yeah, we need to put that back. Come, mate. Let's have a look at some resistance stuff.
We are. This is resistance.
You are resisting me.
I am resisting.
Come on.
Hoosh is right. I need to stay focused.
Have you got any spy stuff, resistance stuff? How about a pencil? Have a look at that.
I think I've got plenty of pencils. Buy these by the dozen, don't we?
Well, it's not just any pencil. That's an assassination pencil. Inside there is a blade.
That's awesome. Really awesome. So this was used specifically by people that were going on Operation Behind the Lines and that type of thing. So, yeah, secret agents, basically, yeah. So were these mass-produced or...?
No, they were made on a very small scale by MI9.
MI9 was one of the British Secret Services, and part of their remit was to invent gadgets to aid agents behind enemy lines. MI9's real-life spy gadget guru was called Charles Fraser Smith, who later became the inspiration for James Bond film character Q. Just like in the Bond movies, the British Secret Services really were the masters of invention, designing one-man submarines for stealth attacks and exploding rats to destroy factories. And, apparently, secret daggers concealed in pencils for use by British agent assassins.
I've got another one, and this is a sample to show the secret agents what was inside.
Well, I'll be. Look at that.
Now, that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
I just thought they were a normal pencil. So it's got no lead in it? No, it's just got a blade inside.
That's a little bit like you. You got no lead in your pencil, have you? Daniel, you've rung me belly. It's items like these that our client is very, very keen to acquire. If I was to possibly ask you for a price for those two...
If you wanted both, how about $15.50?
Yeah, it's still really, I mean... Yeah. 1,300?
It's a bit low. You're getting close to what I paid. How about $13.75?
OK, all right, mate. Lovely. Thanks.
Yeah, they're nice. Thank you, mate. They're really interesting.
Normally, I would balk at spending that much on a pencil, but this is a direct link to the real Q. I feel like I'm in From Russia with Love.
Take a look at this. What's this?
That's for a PIAT. You got a PIAT?
Just some parts that I picked up. There's other bits in there as
well.
well.
Yeah, that's the stand. Show us what else is there. Just give me that piece there. That's the trigger mechanism.
I just picked this up just recently. I don't really know, much about it.
This is a PIAT, or projectile infantry anti-tank weapon. It was Britain's equivalent of the German Panzerschreck that the twins are fixing. With bazookas and Panzerschrecks, when you fire them, they give off a puff of smoke, which could reveal your position to the enemy. To get round this, the PIAT is spring-loaded, meaning no smoke signal. Great idea, but the spring is a pig to use.
Is this for sale, yeah?
How about 600?
600? I ain't even going to argue. Done.
I know I came here looking for spy bits for Eric, but I've got other PIAT parts back at the farm. If Freddie can build me a whole one, I can show it to my Hollywood armourer along with the Panzerschreck. I'm sure he'd be interested in a PIAT. Now back to Eric's shopping list.
Anything that you've got a bit of history with that, you can say was worn by the Resistance.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. This is a German M35 helmet captured by the Polish, and you can see the scratches around the decal here just to show the Polish flag.
Right,
so this one has been used by the Polish Resistance.
Ah, right. Can I have a look at that? See, the German decal was black, white and red. They've scratched the black out, so that's the Polish flag colours.
The Polish underground resistance was one of the biggest in Europe, and they had to fight both Nazis and communists. As many as 200,000 Polish resistance fighters were shot or sent to the death camps by the Nazis. They spied, engaged in sabotage and open revolt. Needless to say, they didn't have their own arms and kits. These heroic Polish freedom fighters would claim anything they could get their hands on to take on the Nazis.
The only other thing I think that might be interesting for you is this helmet here. We think this is French Resistance.
Right.
It's been painted red, black and red.
Sure it's not Aston Villa?
Because we found it in France in a barn,
Yeah.
we think it's been taken by the French resistance and used against the Germans.
For the museum in Calais, French resistance gear is a must.
What have you got on these, by the way?
I was going to ask £5 for that one.
OK, and that one?
Well, this one here's a £700 helmet.
That's not trade price, is it?
No. I'm sure Daniel will make sure that we're comfortably looked after. I mean, how's £1,000 for the two?
That's a little bit tight for me. I was thinking more maybe 1,100.
1,050. How's that? 1,050, and we ain't finished yet. We're still here.
Go on then, I've known you a long time.
Yeah, lovely.
Helmets have always been a popular wartime memento, but these helmets, taken and used by the resistance, tell a special tale. And that's what makes them valuable.
I've got something else, Bruce, which is very, very rare. Have a look at this.
What is that?
It's an SOE, Special Operations Executives, silk code sheet to transpond home with the SOE radio. It's made of silk, so it could be hidden as a handkerchief.
Yeah, I like that. It's really nice, Daniel. It's exactly the sort of thing we're after. Somebody's actually used this and decoded stuff there.
The Special Operations Executive was Britain's resistance unit. Its nickname was Churchill's Secret Army, and it sent undercover agents all over Nazi-occupied Europe. But SOE operatives were a right mixed bag. They hired canny criminals straight out of the prison system, and about a quarter of the agents were women who were trained to kill, lie, burgle and seduce, all to send secrets back to Blighty. To do this, they needed codes. The head of the cryptography unit was Leo Marx, who insisted that keys to codes carried by spies should be printed on silk.
Silk? Why do you think silk?
Well, it's durable. You know, if it was paper, it might get ripped. It's washable. It's lightweight. It could be hidden as a handkerchief.
I mean, you imagine that mounted in a nice frame on the wall in a small resistance stroke special operations executive display. It'd be awesome.
It's interesting.
The million-dollar question is, how cheap is it?
I was going to ask you £1,200 for it.
£1,200 ranky. That's a lot of money, mate. I mean, you got some movement on that? £900?
My last price would be £925.
£925?
Yeah.
£925. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that, mate.
It's going to break my heart to pass this on, but it will go perfectly with the spy radio I bought earlier. The spy who used this hanky must have had a lot of guts and nerves of steel, not to mention a very dangerous pencil.
Listen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for the bits. I'm really happy with them, mate. I'll keep in touch. Thanks, mate. Come on, you've got a long drive.
Daniel's really saved my bacon today with the items I bought. They are spot on for what that museum in France wants. Plus, my PIAT could also pay off.
Well, hopefully, with what we've got here, we're going to be able to put a whole PIAT gun together.
While the twins are doing up the German Panzerschreck, Bruce has given me a box of bits for a British equivalent, the PIAT anti-tank missile launcher. Now he wants a complete one. This is going to be tough, so I've called in my son Lewis to help.
Right, where should we start? Let's have a look what we've got in here first.
Where's the manual?
We didn't get a manual, unfortunately.
It's like a 70-year-old jigsaw, except there's no picture on the cover. PIATs were dropped behind enemy lines for use by British paratroopers. So the PIAT needed to be simple to assemble, use and repair.
So let's go with the foresight first. And then we want the rear sight. So I've got your range, the stand at the front. Let's try that trigger mechanism. That is obviously the old shoulder thing.
So far, so good. But now we need to fit the spring.
The power of that spring projects that round out the front of the PIAT towards the enemy target. Without this spring, it will just trickle out the end. So this has got a bit of oomph in it.
The PIAT had to fire a heavy anti-tank round the length of 3 football pitches at about 80 metres a second. That takes a big spring tightly compressed.
So now what we've got to do is squash all that up into there. You ready? You got it?
No.
Hurry up.
Back. Slowly, slowly.
I can't help feeling I'm at the wrong end of the spring here.
Push. There it is.
Hurry up.
Right, hold it.
Anything?
Push. Go on. That's on now.
Oh, there we go.
That's the spring compressed. Now to fit it.
Now that obviously drops down in there. Ooh, easy.
Perfect.
Hopefully it'll work.
Yeah.
Good job we put it together and not Bruce, though.
One PIAT ready for action.
I brought you to my mate's scrapyard here because we can blow loads of stuff up here.
Time to show off some of my wares. I have a potential buyer for my Panzerschreck, and he wants to see a demo before he commits to the deal.
Well, listen, Tony, I'm really pleased that you've managed to come up here today.
Tony is a top armourer for TV dramas and big Hollywood movies. He wants to build up his stock of authentic World War II kit that looks the business when it goes off. When it comes to bangs, for Tony, the bigger the better.
Just wanted to demonstrate why there should be more Panzerschrecks in these movies that you get involved in.
The twins have done a cracking job on them Panzerschrecks and tell me that one of them is in a fit state to fire. I hope, for everybody's sake, they're right.
Right, gents. Freddie, this is Tony.
Hiya, Freddie.
This is Hoos.
Hiya, Hoos.
This is Ian.
Demonstrating a newly renovated Panzerschreck needs an expert's touch, and there's nothing ex-para mate Ian doesn't know about World War II rocket launchers. Ian's like Bazooka Joe. He lives for anti-tank weapons.
Right, this is a Panzerschreck, or Tank Terror, yeah? It's an 88mm recoilless rocket launcher. OK, it's effective up to about 150 metres. The bloke's camouflaged it. If that was in that hedgerow over there, you'd be trundling down the road. The first time you'd see it is when the side of your tank exploded.
So much for the sales talk. Now the demonstration, which will hopefully seal the deal. To make it more spectacular, we've set up a target on water. To make a big splash, so to speak.
Who's going to fire, by the way?
Let's do it.
Right, take control of the weapon. Get it in your shoulder. That's it, that goes in your shoulder. Yeah?
Yep.
Right, that boat over there is your target.
OK.
Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah, mate, it's nice.
Yeah?
Load me up.
When you're ready,
Right.
pull the trigger. Fire.
That's astounding. That was wicked.
How'd you hit that?
Mate, did it out the water.
That was gobsmacking. Even I was impressed. I'm not sure if I want to sell it now.
Well, Tony, what do you think about that? I mean, awesome, wasn't they?
Amazing. Absolutely impressed.
Yeah.
What price are you putting on?
Right, well, I'll cut you a really good deal. The Panzerschreck is £2,000, and like that's the best deal I can do for you. And you can see they do exactly what they were designed to do.
They certainly
You
do.
happy with them, yeah?
Yeah, amazing.
But I'm not letting Tony go yet. Freddie and Lewis have assembled the spring-loaded British PIAT. If this is half as spectacular as the Panzerschreck, I might be outsselling the pair.
Have you ever seen these fired side by side?
No, never. Never seen them together, what they compare like.
That's basically like a massive car spring.
Really?
I mean, it's no fun. Who's firing this?
I'm firing it.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck to you, mate.
I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Right, shall we leave him to it? He looks dangerous, that thing.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Right, before you use it, first thing you've got to do is make it ready, so you've got to cock it. Just turn it. Right, now pull it up.
What? It's coming up. You're not going to laugh, are you? All right, that's up, yeah? Yeah.
Welcome to my world, Hoos.
Man, that was hard, man.
Imagine doing that in the middle of a battle.
Let's do this, man.
Keep it in your shoulder, mate.
Stay up.
There's your target straight ahead. The maroon car.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Right, fire when you're ready.
£10 says he doesn't get anywhere near the target.
No, 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 no. Still couldn't say that. Did you see that?
That was Tony's car.
It just cost me a tenner each.
I tell you, it was a bit of kickback on it, but it was really good.
Really very well, mate. I've got to be honest with you. You've even hit the thing and blown it to pieces, mate.
That was excellent.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, sir, the Panzerschreck's starting to take second place now. I'd rather have one of them. Well, Tony, what do you think about that? I mean, awesome, wasn't it?
That was impressive.
He sold it to me.
Yeah.
Now I ask you, how could anybody not want to buy one of these?
I'm going to take them both.
Well, listen,
Just
obviously,
fantastic.
I'm going to do them at a great price for you.
Yeah.
The PIAT is £3,000. And that is a really good deal, Tony. Believe me, I've got to tell you, you won't see a PIAT for under £4,000. You happy with them, yeah?
I'm impressed with
And
them.
I'll fire them
Cheers,
for you.
mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sold them both to another happy customer. And all credit to Dead-Eye Dick, the Mad Turk.
I'm really pleased with the way they perform. And I can't believe you, honestly.
Yeah.
You can't even win a goldfish at a fair. And he's hit everything, isn't he? No, that's great, mate.
Excellent
Absolutely marvellous.
demonstration.
Good to be back here again. I like this place.
There we go. Lovely.
I must say, it's with a tortured mix of pride and sadness that I hand over my espionage and resistance goodies to Eric.
Right, you feeling fit? Weighs a ton, this stuff. How heavy do you reckon this is?
Ain't too bad.
Ready? Oh, ain't heavy. You're a minute and a half, aren't you? Eric?
Yeah.
Hello, mate. All right? Nice to see you.
How are you?
Yeah, fine. Remember Freddie? As discussed, all the items, the sea lion maps, the SOE pencils, the German helmets, the spy radios, it's all here.
Bruce, it's very nice. It's very good for the museum.
Thanks.
Very impressive.
I'm so pleased there's now a lasting memorial here in northern France to the brave souls who fought the secret war.
I really think that the items we've managed to find you will do your museum justice. So
Perfect.
Enjoy anyway, mate, all right?
I will.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a cracker of a week I've had.
Now, that's definitely ringing my bell.
Buying gadgets that would make James Bond jealous.
It's got no lid in it. No, it's just got a blade inside.
And also fixing up and flogging 2 World War II rocket launchers ready for the big screen. This time, Freddie and me are on the rampage in Russia.
So I'm actually holding a sword that Stalin would have held.
Right. But the local cuisine doesn't sit too well with Freddie. Luckily, the local purchases sit very well with me.
900,000.
Yes.
And back in Blighty, the twins work their magic on a super rare bit of wartime kit. Wow! I'm Bruce Crompton. I buy, fix up and sell old military kit.
What sort of figure are you looking for?
€1 million.
Yeah?
Sounds like a deal. Hoos is my right-hand man. He keeps an eye on the cash.
We've got to make a profit on it.
Ex-Para Freddy is my weapons expert.
Warren!
Yes. Twins Nick and Phil run the workshop. There ain't a military machine out there they can't fix.
Did you say that? There are worse jobs.
Yeah, that's what people keep saying.
Can't believe we're in Moscow, Bruce.
Listen, the Russian market has opened up massively, and believe me, you can really get some good deals here. The people we're going to see could really have the golden ticket for us.
We've come to Moscow on a picking trip. Russia's unique history has collectors back in Blighty screaming out for original Soviet kit. And we're starting our trip in one of the most iconic military landmarks.
Well, there you go, Red Square, mate. This is the famous Red Square. It's where they had all the big parades.
Home to Lenin's tomb, St Basil's Cathedral, and of course the dreaded Kremlin, fortified palace built for the Tsars.
Quite imposing buildings, aren't they? I always thought the square was actually red.
No.
It's just after the Red Army, that sort of thing, isn't it?
The communists used Red Square as a stage to show off to the world their vast military might, but it very nearly fell to the Nazis. The invasion of Russia was like lightning. Within just weeks, almost half of Russia's population was under Nazi rule. The Germans got to within 18 miles of Moscow, but then weather and the Russians turned against them.
Well, I'm glad I've seen that. All right, let's go down here.
We're heading to see my Muscovite dealer friend Dmitri, who I've known for nearly a decade. I've come to close a deal with him, but also to buy up some of his super rare Russian stock and get introductions to some of his most prestigious Russian clients.
I hope you know where we're going, Bruce. I'm completely lost.
Well, he said it was opposite the museum.
The problem is he's moved offices since my last visit.
Yeah, this is it. He said there's a picture above the door.
We'll give it a go, eh?
Come in.
Dmitri, how the devil are you, my friend? All right? Nice to see you.
Dmitri is one of Russia's biggest military dealers, and his little black book is like a Russian who's who. He's kindly organised a 3-day itinerary for me and Freddie. Let the adventure begin, comrades. I noticed through there you've got some very interesting items, so could I cast my eye and buy something?
Here, for you, everything is for sale.
God, well, Dmitri, I'm amazed you've got such wonderful stuff here.
As one of Russia's top dealers, Dmitri's day job is searching the old Soviet Union for unique kit you wouldn't find anywhere else.
But what are the rarest things you've got here?
I will show you the item where you never see a price tag on.
Right, OK.
This officer's uniform of the Tsar's elite palace grenadiers may well be the last of its kind. The officer who wore this would have been a noble, a member of Russia's ruling class. This unit was nicknamed the Golden Company because of its lavish uniforms and posh officers.
Where did you find this?
Here in Russia. This was in theatre. It was lost somewhere maybe 100 years ago.
So it was in their wardrobe department,
right?
Yeah, and it was hidden for 100 years as just another piece of costume.
Right.
Listen, just to amuse me, in euros, if that was for sale, what would be the price?
One.
What?
1 million.
1 million euros. Yeah? It's that rare.
Budding militaria dealers take note. Dmitri has made a fortune on just one purchase because he knew his history.
Do you know what I'm going to do when I get home? I'm going to phone every theatre in London to see if I can find anything.
It is a good idea, Bruce.
Yeah. Can we have a look at the other bits and pieces you've got?
Yeah,
You've
sure.
got some nice swords and stuff over here. I mean, some of these Cossack swords, I mean, the Cossacks fought on both sides, didn't they? They fought with the Germans and with the Russians.
The Tsar's Cossack cavalry might seem romantic from a distance, but they were brutal to Russia's peasants and tried to annihilate Russian Jews. In the Second World War, many Cossacks went over to fight for the Nazis. Bad mistake. At the end of the war, and at Stalin's request, Churchill sent the captured Cossacks back to the Soviet Union. These Nazi Cossacks were hated by ordinary Russians, and when they arrived back, the people had their vengeance, and over 30,000 of them were killed. There is terrible stories of, as they were being handed back, the British soldiers were seeing them disappear where they couldn't see, and they could hear shots going off, and they were killing them straight away. The history of the Cossacks is gruesome, but fascinating, which makes this sword highly collectible.
That's really nice. 75,000 roubles. What's that? That's about what?
£800, something like that.
Could you do a little price on that for me? A little bit less?
Okay, just for you, a little bit. 650.
65,000 rubles.
Rubles, yes.
Yeah, well, I ain't going to haggle that. Thank you very much indeed, sir. That's great. I'm happy with that. Needless to say, there ain't many Cossack swords back in Blighty, and one dating from the early war makes it extra special.
This is Soviet propaganda posters from the Second World War.
Blimey hell. What does that actually say?
Honor to warrior liberator.
And that one's a bit grim. What's that one? What does that say?
Death to kid killers.
Death to kid killers?
Yes.
Oh dear. And this one?
Father, kill a German.
Father, kill a German?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is strong material. Allied propaganda posters seem positively tame compared with this stuff. It was all loose lips, might sink ships, and dig for victory. But when you consider that by 1942 the Nazis had killed or starved to death nearly 3 million Soviet POWs, you can start to see where they're coming from. I've never seen anything as powerful as that. What is that price, Dmitri? That's 95,000 rubles. What's that?
1,400.
Struth! It's not just the content which is strong on these posters. I know collectors who'd love these, but at this price, there's no profit selling them on.
I'll have to pass on them. They're a bit too rich for me. All right, let's have a look what else you've got there.
Take a look.
So, this is a ration card.
Yes.
It's a copy here?
Yes. It is a bread cards for Leningrad when it was in blockade.
The siege of Leningrad lasted an incredible 2.5 years. It's estimated more Russians died in Leningrad alone than all the British and American soldiers and civilians in the whole of World War II. People were eating twigs and household pets and shoes. More than 2,000 people were arrested for cannibalism. According to police reports, human flesh was being sold on the markets. Blooming Nora!
That one little piece of square paper could mean the difference between life and death. Right. What do you sell these for?
100 rubles is £1.
You paid a man. You got 100 rubles on you?
I have.
There you go. That's 100.
Done.
That's a great start to the trip, but more important still are the new contacts Dimitri's lined up for me.
As we discussed, I will introduce you to some collectors here.
Dimitri, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be involved with you. Right, how do we get out of here? Like Fort Knox?
Through the door.
Paul. Oh, there you go. Lovely.
Cheers.
While Bruce gallivants around Russia, I've been told to oversee a Big Brother makeover on the farm.
Ah, so what are you doing here?
Hi. Oh, Bruce is stepping up the security, so this is CCTV going in.
Oh, right.
To protect his precious stock, Bruce is installing fancy new internet cameras. That'll mean he'll be able to monitor the farm from his phone. A scary thought. And how about you? What are you up to?
Bruce wants us to fix this motorcycle starter thing up.
Good luck with that one then.
Yeah, thank you. All right. See you later.
Yeah.
Bruce bought this super rare bit of German kit from a seller in Italy for a dizzying €8,000. And apparently it's to help crank start World War II military trucks. Bruce thinks if we can get this thing working again, he's looking at a 4-figure profit.
The problem is, it's so rare and so old, no instruction manual exists for it.
This is the only picture we've got out of an old German manual. There's not a lot to go on. Going by this picture, it's difficult to tell, but I think it is the bike is starting the truck. Throughout World War II, they were still using starting handles or hand cranks to get vehicles going, on everything from trucks and tanks to planes. This thing, we think, was designed to speed things up. So you've got the motorcycle wheel fits in here, turns these.
Then you've got a hexagonal shaft that comes out of there.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's just a tube that goes between the two. And then the shaft goes into the front of the truck, which is probably similar to a starting handle.
Unfortunately, there's a vital part missing, and that's the rotating metal shaft, which translates the spinning of the motorbike wheel to the engine you're trying to start.
The shaft part of it, all right, it sort of makes sense, but...
I'm really worried about this because it looks dangerous to me.
Well, that's another thing.
Yeah. So our mission is to design and build from scratch the missing metal shaft, with only a picture to work from.
And on top of that, Bruce wants it done by the time he gets back from Russia. Right, OK, then let's get to it. Let's crack on with this.
Russia, the land of vodka, Vladimir, and beautiful women.
Can't believe we're in Moscow, Bruce.
Well, there you go, Red Square, mate.
I'm with Freddie on a business trip. The plan is to get introduced to some of Russia's biggest military dealers and buy up some of their rare Russian stock.
If that was to sell, what would be the price?
1 million.
1 million euros. Yeah?
But first, I need to see how the twins are getting on with the German engine start machine. I need it fully functional if I'm going to flog it.
Let's see what's been going on at home. Now, with this new system I've had put in...
Oh, the CCTV system stuff?
Yeah, this is the one that's all been installed now. Now, hopefully, it should be able to get a live feed. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, well, that's
and
really
what are they
clear
doing?
pictures.
Drinking tea.
And a biscuit.
Look, look, look. Right, just a minute. Let's give him a little bit of a shock.
And the cat's away.
Hang on.
Hello, Bruce.
Hello. Yeah, it's me.
Hello. What can I do for you?
How's that engine starter coming on?
Yeah, it's getting there.
All right, you're actually working on it, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our hands full.
Well, maybe if Nick put that paper down and got back to work, it would help.
Yeah, sure thing, boss.
All right, see you later, bye.
How did he know that? What? He said put that newspaper down and then get that thing working.
Well, that put a rocket up their proverbial, but bless them, they're clueless.
Right, let's get this sorted out. We've been mulling things over during one of our very rare tea breaks, and we think we might have come up with a design for the rotating metal shaft that's missing from Bruce's World War II engine starter.
Right, you got the hexagonal bar.
Yeah, I'll sort
Screw
the
the
end.
end up first.
Yeah.
And just cut it to length.
We're machining 3 lengths of steel. One will slot into the axle of the machine that the motorbike wheel sits on. That links into the central shaft. And the 3rd length of steel goes into the truck's engine. That's okay like that?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
The starter machine was used to crank start vehicles of different heights. That's why you need a flexible starter handle made up of 3 shafts. And the shafts need to be linked with 2 universal joints that will twist in any direction. It doesn't sound like it would work, but it does. At least we hope it does.
It wants to be a good fit.
Yep, that'll do. Right, that should go on to the universal joint, and that should slide straight into the bike starter. Next, we're using an old World War II cranking handle as a guide to base the end tip of the new rotating arm on. This will insert into the crank hole of one of Bruce's German trucks called a Steyr. That's 22 there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's dead on then. Perfect. Right, so we've got the bit that goes into the actual starter, and we've got the bit that goes into the front of the Steyr now, so we just need to make sure it all fits.
Right.
Where the hell are you? Freddie's picking up a hire car. Then we're off to meet a guy called Vitaly, who's one of Dimitri's contacts. Dimitri thinks I'll be interested in what this fella's got, so I've told Freddie to get a van. What's that?
This is a deluxe camper van model.
It's the most ugly thing I've ever seen in my life.
This van dates back to the Soviet era. They call it a book anchor, which is a type of Russian bread, and makes a larder look like a Rolls Royce. I thought Bruce would appreciate a period vehicle. Obviously not.
This thing is Dimitri's contact is an hour's drive away in the outskirts of Moscow, and I'm told he's one of Russia's best restorers. But first we have to get there, and the loaf is starting to bake me.
It's got to be the most uncountable vehicle I've ever been in.
It honestly feels like it's overeating. It's no wonder we're hot. The engine is actually inside the cab. We're almost sitting on top of it. I feel like a samovar in a sauna.
Well, I don't think this is going to make it much further.
Well, this is the scrapyard. Look at that up there. That's a T-26. That's a Russian Second World War tank. Here, listen, I told you wouldn't do us wrong. Hold it. It's a
Trying to stop.
T-26. Here, Freddie, come and have a look at it. Oh, hello, sir. Vitali, yeah?
Hello, Bruce.
Hello, mate. All right. This is Freddie.
Vitali, yeah?
Very nice. This yours?
Yes.
It's beautiful. Very, very nice. This is basically a British tank, right? Made by Vickers, but they sold the licence to the Russians in the 30s. In the 30s, a Soviet committee went to the Vickers-Armstrong factories in the northeast to pick up some Geordie and learn how to build a Vickers 6-ton tank, renamed by the communists a T-26. The T-26 was outdated by World War II, but was still the Soviets' main battle tank when the Germans invaded. Of course, unlike at Vickers, Soviet tank production relied on slave labour. In this socialist heaven, if you went on strike, you got shot. This is the one that they had at Stalingrad, Moscow, they had them everywhere. I mean, these are proper hen's teeth.
I can understand why you're so excited about it now.
I am, mate. But this, no run, no drive.
This only static, no gearbox and no have engine.
No engine. This thing is a static restoration, i.e. it ain't going nowhere. But there's still a big market for showpieces like this. This is just wonderful. Is it possible this for sale for me?
Not so.
I paid good money, good rubles.
No.
No?
This Panzer to the museum Stalingrad battle.
Oh, so this is going to a museum at Stalingrad?
Yes.
Oh, well, dear, I'm a bit deflated now. You sure? No possibility me buy this?
No.
Oh, don't. What'd you bring me here for? I'm gutted. This tank's so rare, I could flog it for upwards of 150 grand. Vitali assures me, though, that he's got stuff in the workshop I can actually buy. Now, Freddie, have a look over here.
What you got? Oh, Woody out, is it? Comrade.
Yeah, you do. You look like something out of Dr. Zhivago. It's a vast improvement. There's a variety. They're all Russian hats, these. Try that, right? And then, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but that looks like a commissar's hat.
Are they the ones that would be at the back executing anyone who runs away?
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that.
Not very nice people.
No, they were terrifying people. Political commissars were communist enforcers. If a soldier was caught lagging behind or expressing discontent, he was shot. The Soviet communists are said to have murdered 150,000 of their own troops. That's equivalent to nearly half of all the Americans who died in combat in World War II. Soviet soldiers didn't know who to fear or hate the most, the Nazis or the communists. Can I ask, what is the price for these?
120,000.
For two? 120,000 rubles?
Yes.
They're nice, and I want these, to be quite honest with you. Would you take 80,000 rubles? No?
No.
Best price? Your best price?
100.
100,000 rubles?
Yes.
That's about £1,000. Done. All right?
Yes.
Right. All right? Happy with that? You've got to wear these through customs. Headgear always sells well, and these are rare outside Russia, so I'm pleased with that. Just bits of armour plate.
Sort your hair out with that, bit of shampoo. It's in German as well, look.
During the war, some shampoos came in powder form, and the brand Schwarzkopf supplied the Wehrmacht army. They also marketed to the Hausfraus, wanted to keep their Aryan locks looking extra blonde. Fascinating. The cost of these?
No, this present for you.
Oh, lovely. Trying to tell me I need to wash my hair?
Yes.
Thank you very much. These Russians may be a little taciturn, but they're certainly generous. but I haven't come all this way for hats and shampoo. There's a German half-track I spotted on the way in that I'd love to do a deal on, a Neue 250. Is this for sale?
This for sale, yes.
This is for sale?
Yes.
Ah, now, that's a bit different. A 250 Neue cost about minimum of 350, getting up towards £400,000.
But that's a reproduction body, isn't it?
It's a reproduction body, but it's a very, very good reproduction. And I know at least 3 people that'd be interested in this. It may not be the real deal, but there's money to be made supplying the reproduction market. How much for this?
1 million rubles.
Hang on, just a minute. 1 million rubles. I think I need a shot of vodka. That's just shy of 12 grand. What about 800,000 rubles?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
900,000.
Yes.
That's 11 grand well spent. I can easily flog this on for 15 back home. Time to seal the deal Russian style. Very nice. Seems like a sensible way to do things, doesn't it? I like a drop of this in the morning. Lovely. Cheers. 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 Hold it. You're driving.
I'm going to need that to drive that thing.
God, Stroop, let's go. Come on. Freddie and I have spent the last 3 days schlepping around Russia's capital, Moscow. I've been making new business contacts and buying up super rare Soviet kit. So 900,000 rubles, yeah?
Yes.
But before our next meeting, I thought I'd check up on the Dynamic Duo, using my brand new rinky-dink internet CCTV cameras. Oh, this is double-handy, this thing, I've got to tell you, really.
I imagine they're grafting, because you must have put the wind up them last time.
Well, I did, but... There we go. Right. Well, look, they must have finished the engine bike start thing because they're working on the D4. Look, both of them.
I can't believe how clear them images are.
Oh, I know. Well, at least I ain't got to phone them and check up what they're doing. I don't want to come in out from under there. All right, let's see where we're going from here. We'll take this magnificent piece of Russian engineering somewhere else now.
It didn't take us very long to work out Bruce's new spy in the sky system. How do you like them apples, boss? We better go on with some work then, haven't we?
Yeah, okay.
We're recreating the most complicated crank handle we've ever seen for starting wartime German vehicles. OK, moment of truth then. Let's see if these fit, shall we?
Yeah, OK.
Right. This one goes in here, or should. That'll do. Go. Look at that. Spot on. Right, that's that one done.
I'm going to try this one.
The one on the Steyr. The Steyr 1500A was a German troop carrier and is the closest vehicle Bruce owns to the one in the picture.
Let's just hope it fits.
That's it, you're in.
Oh, that's all right.
That's good. Perfect. We're at least halfway there. Just need to join all these bits together and get it working. To connect the 3 tubes, we've welded the universal joints in place. So now, in theory, the rotation of the motorbike's wheels will turn the starter machine's drum, and the rotational movement will travel along the articulated arm and crank starts the engine. I think we're there now, aren't we? That's it.
Just try that bit there first.
All right, if you can back over there a bit. Hang on. Oh, hang on.
Turn a bit.
That's it. There, look at that. Perfect.
Into the truck.
That's ideal.
My friend Dmitry, the Moscow-based dealer, is helping me to expand the Russian section of my little black book. He set up a powwow with one of Russia's richest weapon collectors, so I'm on my best behaviour. Apparently, he's like a very, very wealthy man, has a real passion for anything historical, so should be a good meeting. This Russian's so rich, he doesn't bother to sell stuff. He's in the market to buy, and he's got deep pockets. Pull up the security gate and see what happens there. He says, don't blow your horn. I mean, don't blow your horn, because I don't want to be seen in this thing.
It's all right, it don't work anyway.
Never mind the truck. Bruce never told me I've got to look smart. I feel all right, Charlie.
Dimitri, I can only apologise about our mode of transport.
It looks cool.
It's officially called the Freddy bus now. Now, I'm looking forward to meeting your colleague. Is he ready?
Mr. Gnidowski is waiting for us.
Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
Bruce, let me introduce you, Mr. Gnidowski, the best collector of Russian sidearms and firearms in the world.
Thank you, sir, for receiving me. I really appreciate it. This is my colleague, Freddie.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Thanks for inviting us into your home, sir.
According to Dmitry, Alexei made his millions in investment banking, which allows him to indulge in his weakness for historic weapons.
Oh, Freddie, look at this. Fantastic. It's like a museum, sir. These all Russian weapons?
Yes. This Russia, 19th century.
These things just absolutely amaze me because flintlock pistols like this were a one-shot pistol, but they were designed to be a club. A blow on the head with that would kill you stone dead. So, Dmitri, I understood that after the Russian Revolution, many artefact weapons and things like this were destroyed.
Right.
After the Russian Revolution, the communists started confiscating certain weapons. Swords dating back to the time of the Tsars are super rare, though you wouldn't think it from Alexei's massive collection.
The breastplate, what period would this be from?
Beginning of 20th century, end of 19th century.
Who would wear this type of breastplate?
Lifeguard of Tsar in Winter Palace.
And obviously being ceremonial for the Tsar, this was the type of thing that was destroyed and didn't survive.
This is the breastplate of a lifeguard, whose job it was to protect the Tsar and his family. The Tsar was also protected by his own Cossack regiment, the Palace Police, and the Imperial Security Service. It didn't work, of course. The communists just took them all down into a basement and shot them.
And this, I saw, this is a Cossack sword, yes, with the ivory?
You are right and you are not.
Right.
This is Cossack type sword.
Right.
With description to whom.
Right.
And Alexei will describe better than me.
Yes. To dear comrade Stalin.
This is Stalin's sword.
Right.
Could I have a look? So I'm actually holding a sword that Stalin would have held.
Right.
He hold it.
The Tsar was a murderous dictator, but Lenin and Stalin turned out to be even worse. The ruling communists became just as privileged and parasitic as the old lot. And they even adopted some of the fancy trappings of the old regime, like ceremonial swords. Out goes one ruling class, in comes another. Joseph Stalin's Cossack-style sword is a little bit of history I'd love to own.
Is it for sale? Can I buy it?
No chance.
Bruce, you know, the things kind of this, you never see a price tag on.
As it happens, I've still got Churchill's bath at the back of one of the sheds. I wonder if he'd do a swap.
This is an absolutely incredible collection, and if I could possibly help in any way to find you artefacts that might join your wonderful collection, it would be an honour and a pleasure for me.
Thank you. So, this is a gift for future relationships.
A gift to me?
Right.
Yes, for you.
This is a German Pioneer porcelain model, yeah, from the war?
Yes.
This is a wonderful present. Thanks again, Alexei. Thank you very much.
And this is for you. This is a money box. Olympic Games, 1936.
That is absolutely amazing. Thanks very much. I'm honoured to have seen your collection. It's amazing.
And I know, Alex, you have one more treat for our guests. We go to shooting range.
Fantastic. Just as I'd hoped, Alexei is in the market for historic guns as well.
So we're going shooting, live shooting,
right,
with you tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed, sir.
With our most important Moscow meeting out of the way, Freddie and I finally had some time for some hard-earned Russian R&R.
Apparently this is a traditional Russian restaurant. It's a little treat.
But let's be honest, the Russians aren't exactly renowned for their cuisine. I remember hearing something about a salad once.
I'll tell you, I'm so hungry, I could eat anything, but I can't read what half this stuff is.
Leave it to me. Luckily, my Russian's as good as my French.
could I have that, and that, plus 2 Grande lagers, beer. Grazie.
What have you chosen for me, Bruce? Because I know what you're like.
Right, listen, I've just got an assortment of local delicacies. Now, Freddie is no gastronaut, but you know, when in Rome... Thank you. Thank you, madame.
Thank you.
There you go. Look, that's what you wanted. Lovely, thank you. There's mine. I just wanted something light.
Oh, you're just having a pudding?
I just want a nice bit of ice cream. Traditional Russian cuisine, as you might imagine, reflects the history of the place. So it's a kind of fusion of poor peasant and famine. For centuries, the plat du jour on a Russian menu was anything they could get their hands on, as Freddie's about to discover. Tell me what you think of this one. Tuck in, don't be shy. To get through the long, cold winters, the Russians ate a lot of lard and pickled almost everything. Now, that probably is going to be the best thing you've eaten.
Not really.
No, it's fermented herring. No.
Oh, God, yeah.
What?
Why did I do this?
You said you wanted a bit of local... If Freddie was in a gulag, he'd be grateful for that plate of rotten fish.
How long has that been dead for?
About a year. Oh. Sure. Do you need another beer?
Yeah.
Garçon, 2 more beers, please. Thank you. 2 more beeries. Thank you. Russia is coming up trumps. So I'm actually holding a sword that Stalin would have held.
Right.
The trip has been back-to-back business, which is great, but schlepping around Moscow in the loaf feels like serving a sentence in a Siberian summer. It's like being in a sauna in here. So it's time we stretched our legs before our appointment with Alexei and the shooting range.
So what, I'm glad to be out of that van, Bruce. Well, where are we off to now?
We're looking for the Bianca building. It's the former KGB building, which was previously the NKVD building. And while I'm here, because I'm really interested in that period, I'd love to see it.
That's all the Russian intelligence services, mate.
Yeah. Intelligence service is putting it politely. NKVD agents had a quota to arrest so many people. Anything could get you banged up. A joke, a slip of the tongue, something you said in the past, or even just acting strangely. Well, there it is, the Bianca building. Now, that building there, in the basement, thousands of people have died. Anybody that was captured by the Russians was taken back there, but it's synonymous with terror. The forms of torture used here were unspeakable. If you survived, you were sent to a gulag, but almost half those arrested were executed. At the height of the terror, the NKVD were killing an average 1,500 people a day. For some reason, the communists haven't had such bad press as the Nazis, but they were just as evil. Basically, if you went in there as a prisoner, you either came out in a body bag or certainly limping, because it was a very evil place, that. Well, I'm glad I've seen that. That's a tick box. Not that I ever want to go in there, but I've seen it. All right, let's go down here. With our sightseeing over, it's now time to cement my new business relationship with Alexei, the rich Russian. We've been invited to his version of a business lunch. So this is a 25-metre indoor range,
Mostly,
yeah?
yes.
Yeah. You have some wonderful weapons here. A Kalashnikov. Can I pick up?
Yes, of course.
There you go. Lovely.
One of the most popular weapons used around the world. I think they built about 75 million AK-47s. Mikhail Kalashnikov's famous gun was introduced after the war. It was so cheap to produce, hard to break and easy to fix, it became the most widely used assault rifle in history, and nearly always by the bad guys.
Well, let's get some mags loaded up and have a little bit of a blast then, yeah?
Oh, for sure, yes. Czuję тоже.
Accuracy is not one of the AK's strong points, and that's not just me making an excuse. That was mega. Last time I fired one of these must have been about 2006 in Afghanistan. That's awesome.
Me, Lloyd's Bank, Brixton, 2 years ago. Only joking. It was Barclays in Balham.
So, and the next thing is the very, very beautiful hunting shotgun.
3-barrel, 1 rifle and 2 shotguns. This is survival kit.
Really?
Survival
Yes,
kit.
it's survival kit of German bombers.
The triple-barrelled M30 was designed as a super powerful hunting rifle, but was then used by the Luftwaffe during the war. Why? Because if a pilot got shot down in the wilds of Africa or Russia, they needed something to defend themselves from the wildlife. And this packs enough punch to stop a rhino. So this is a normal 9mm, but that is the 9mm round that would be inserted into there, that chamber there.
Very powerful.
Very, very powerful.
This is less of a shotgun and more like a handheld cannon.
Yeah, let Dimitri go first.
Have you fired this before, Dimitri?
Never.
Ah, have fun.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
Good idea.
A bit of kick in it, isn't it?
This has got a kick like a Moscow mule. I better hold on tight. This is my idea of a holiday leisure activity. And also a valuable bonding exercise with my new business contact, Alexei. What a wonderful way to finish a trip to Russia. Thank you very much, Dimitri. Alex, it's been wonderful to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for sharing those wonderful weapons with us. It's been a pleasure. I love shooting, and to fire historic weapons like that is just a dream. So,
Bruce, you're more than welcome to come over and over to Russia. You know it.
you might wish you'd never said that, because I could be here with cases for 6 months. I'm back from the land of Cossacks and caviar, and the first thing I want to do is to check on the twins. The German starter engine could be worth a mint if it works. How are we getting on? Started yet?
No, not yet.
Well, it looks good, I've got to tell you. Even if it don't run, it looks the part. When I found this machine in Italy, I knew I'd struck gold. I know buyers of German kit that will be fighting to be the one to own this. I'm desperate for this to come off. So have you worked out everything, how it all works?
Yeah, we think we've got it.
Right, OK.
As per the picture.
Have you guys had a chance to test this out?
No, this is the first go.
So the chances of something going drastically wrong are actually...
50-50.
Yeah. But if you start whizzing round and round, what's your safe word?
Help.
This is the only example of this bit of kit I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of German kit. This is my version of hauling up the Mary Rose.
OK, then, Freddie, you want to jump on the bike? You can do the holding of the handle, and I'll do the difficult bit, turn the ignition on.
And I'll do the extremely difficult bit of watching.
What, and running away?
Yeah.
You can catch me as I come flying over.
Right.
We may be joking and japing, but this is pretty airy stuff. I don't think anybody has attempted something like this since the war.
Is that fast enough?
Not fast enough.
It looks like the motorbike's wheels have to be spinning scarily fast to get the articulated arm revolving quick enough to turn over the engine. If the bike comes off the treadmill, I've lost a 40 grand war relic. And Freddie, of course.
Yes. Whoa! Yes. There we go.
Great. Amazing. The twins may like a cup of tea more than most, but you can see why they're on the payroll. I paid €8,000 for this, and it's easily worth 10 now. Time for a celebration, Russian style. There you go.
It smells distinctly like screen wash, doesn't it?
Well done.
Skull.
It's smooth as hell, this, though, really, isn't it? Lovely.
Who wants more?
Hold on.
Now, listen, well done, very good. I mean, I've got to be honest with you, that's worth a few quid. I've only ever seen one, all right? That is a cracking little toy. What an end to my Soviet saga. I'll never forget some of the things I saw in Moscow. This is Stalin's sword.
Right.
But better than what I saw is who I met, the lovely Alexei, who will hopefully become a lifelong customer of mine.
This is a gift for you, for future relationships.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pity Freddie didn't enjoy himself as much as me. I've done this since I was a kid. This time, I play Indiana Jones down the Nazi tunnels of doom. How the hell did that get down here? Bruce goes flaming crazy with a World War II flamethrower. And I imagine my own great escape from the German-occupied Channel Islands. I'm Bruce Crompton. I buy, fix up and sell old military kit. What sort of figure are you looking for? €1 million. Yeah? Sounds like a deal. Hoos is my right-hand man. He keeps an eye on the cash. We've got to make a profit on it. Ex-Power Freddy is my weapons expert. Yes. Twins Nick and Phil run the workshop. There ain't a military machine out there they can't fix.
Did you say that? There are worse jobs.
Yeah, that's what people keep saying. Yeah, Sue, look. You ain't going to believe what I found. It's just come on the market. Do you know we said we'd always wanted a place in the sun?
Yes.
Look at that.
Oh, that's different.
It's a German bunker complex.
You can't live in a bunker, though.
No, but look, that is a Second World War coastal artillery observation point, formerly known as a Martello Tower. Martello Towers are named after the round fort you find in the port of Martello. The one I want was built to fend off Napoleon, but was converted by the Germans in World War II. The tower is a major find, and to actually own one would be amazing. I'd die at one of these, and because they don't come up very often, we got to get out and see it ASAP. In the 19th century, the British built them all over the empire, from Australia to Jamaica. But this tower is in one of my favourite places, the Channel Islands. Just off the coast of France, the islands have a unique place in history because they were the only part of the British Isles ruled by the Nazis. Here is what life would have been like in Britain if Hitler had won the war. It's extraordinary to think now of jackbooted German troops marching down a British high street like they own the place, or a British bobby holding open a car door for a Nazi officer. And it's here where my fascination with World War II started. I got some of my first artefacts out of the Channel Islands when I was a kid, when I went there with my parents. We can mix a little bit of business and pleasure, have a couple of days in the sun, bit of lobster, and then see what we can do with this place, yeah?
Very nice.
Right, you get on the phone to sort this out.
Yeah.
I've got to go and tell Freddie to pack his bag.
Oh, is Freddie coming with us?
Well, don't worry, he don't eat lobster, he only eats chicken nuggets, so you're all right, it's going to be cheap. Before I shoot off to sunnier climes, I need to take care of another bit of business. I've had a call from a guy who's interested in buying a German flamethrower. I've got one, which I bought years ago. I just need to remember what I did with it. Chuck a bit of light, see if you can find it in there. Go and have a good rummage around.
I didn't even know we had half this stuff.
No?
Bag there, Nick, in front of you.
In here. Is that it? Yeah, there we go.
What sort of nick's it looking? Old. Bring it out, let's have a look at it. I need to see if we can move it on. It might not look like much, but the portable German flamethrower, the Flamethrower,
was a horrific weapon. With a gun, it's easy to miss, but using a Flamethrower, one soldier could clear a dugout or building and take out multiple targets in one go. This thing fired a hellish 30-metre jet of burning petrol and tar that would stick to its target. Terrifying to face, and in truth, almost as terrifying to operate. I picked up that Flamethrower for 100 quid. It's an incredibly rare piece, and even in this rusty condition, it could be worth over £1,000.
Oh, that's full up.
Something in it.
Hang on, just a minute. Be careful there.
That sloshing sound is giving me the jitters. If that canister is still full up with petrol and nitrogen, one false move and that napalm-like fuel could light us all up like a Roman candle.
Oh, hear that?
Oh, yeah, right.
That could be 70-year-old napalm in there.
Right.
That tank is still pressurised. We need to make it safe before we have a disaster on our hands.
Here, look, that's leaking. Yeah, that stinks, that stinks. Can put it down, put it down. First of all, let's see if it's flammable, right? That burns. Oh, look. Oh, that's terrible, that stuff. Well, that's answered the question.
Yeah.
We better get that emptied out.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't believe that Flamethrower is still lethal. I can't sell it like that.
Can you imagine having that squared on you?
That wouldn't be worth thinking about, would it?
No, it doesn't.
Horrible,
mate.
wouldn't it?
Phil, Nick, find out how to make that completely safe.
Yeah.
Freddie, get your leather thong. You're coming to the Channel Islands with me. All right, see you shortly.
Have a nice time.
Sue has got us on the first flight to Guernsey, the second largest of all the Channel Islands. The island is just 50 kilometres off the French coast, but it's been part of the British Isles since 1066, apart from a brief spell under A. Hitler.
It's all very nostalgic coming back here because this is the place that I came in 1970 as a kid that really got my interest in military history going. This place oozes history, believe me.
Germany conquered the Channel Islands in 1940 without a fight. Churchill knew it was strategically impossible to defend them. For 5 years, almost the entire war, the islanders lived under Nazi rule until their emancipation on the 9th of May 1945.
You can imagine what life was like here at that time.
That's like a snapshot of what life could have been like under the jackboot if they'd have taken England.
Well, and they very, very nearly did, believe me, you know.
Hitler was sure that Britain would try to recapture the islands, so he had them heavily fortified. You could still see bunkers everywhere. And out of sight, underground, the Nazis dug an amazing tunnel complex, which I'm eager to check out.
So, if you look straight in front of you there is one of the defensive towers. That's what I'm here to look at.
I'm seeing the tower tomorrow morning, so our first port of call is our B&B.
Hello.
Hello, Christine.
Yes.
Hello,
Sue.
Christine. I'm Sue, yes.
Christine, I'm Bruce. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Freddie.
Freddie,
Hiya.
grab our bags, yeah?
Yeah.
OK.
Sue is normally the one that picks the hotels, but I've booked Christine's place because I've heard her and her son have a little private hoard of historical goodies. So while Sue unpacks, Freddie and I are going to have a rummage in her garage.
Have you got bits and pieces here from the occupation, you reckon?
Probably.
Who needs a hotel pool when you've got a shed full of war relics?
Can we have a look through? Is it all right?
have a good mooch.
This is exactly how I first started finding stuff when I was first here in 1970. There was all kinds of stuff just sitting around in an outbuilding outside, so... There you are, look at that. Look at the outline of the aircraft. That's
a big airfix box or something.
No, that's for aircraft recognition training.
Plane spotters, unlike train spotters, played a vital role in the war. Identifying a plane from its silhouette was the only way to prevent a trigger-happy battery gunning down one of its own. So kids' toy makers spent the war producing scale models of warplanes. Not for fun, but to help train the military.
Lysander, look, Hudson, Whitley, Wellington, Hampden. Look at that, that's interesting. That's very nice.
This German set would have been filled with scale models of Allied aircraft to help German gunners identify enemy planes.
There'd have been 2 layers in this, so they obviously had these ones in the bottom, and there's clamps to hold them, look. See the clamps? So that's all been... It's interesting.
But unfortunately, without its original models, not very saleable. No bother, as Christine's son Ollie's here, and I've heard his stuff is rare and unique to the island.
We're the strangers looking in your shed. Morning. How you doing? I'm Bruce. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
Freddie.
Hi,
This is
nice to
Freddie.
meet you.
Okay, what? But your mum said you might have some bits that we might be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I brought some bits down for you to have a look at.
Oh, helmets as well. Yeah.
Well, these are interesting. The slave workers made these to swap for food with the locals. I mean, there's that big one, and then there's 2 little ones.
To build their fortifications and dig their tunnels, the Germans shipped 6,000 slave labourers onto the islands. Slavs and Jews from Poland and Russia were imprisoned in the only concentration camp ever built on British soil. The Nazis called them Untermenschen, or racial inferiors. They were considered beneath contempt, and many were simply starved or worked to death. Right here on a British isle, slaves had to barter with SS guards to get food and drink. Since they had no money, the prisoners made beautiful little artefacts like these, using what materials they could find.
You've got to think how talented some of these people are, and then they've been dragged away from their homes and put to work on building bunkers.
So this is the same as making a ship in a bottle, yeah?
Then they would have slid them through the neck and then pulled them into place with cotton, and then the water went in there, and then they swelled and stayed in position.
They're incredible, mate. I mean, would these people sell, or one of them, or possibly...
I don't really want to sell the big one, because I've always maybe wanted to let that go in a museum eventually, but I may let one of the smaller ones go.
I'd be interested in one of these, yeah?
It's going to have to be about 150 quid, Bruce, because again, with the history behind it...
No, this whole thing about prisoners of war and people that were in that position, I find very interesting. Heart-rending as well. So, for £150 for that, I've got to be honest with you, yeah, I wouldn't even argue. Yeah, I'll have that, £150.
Brilliant.
That small bottle is, to me, such a moving piece of history. A little human reminder of the inhumanity of the Nazis.
So, listen, we've got something, we've only been here an hour. So what else we got in there?
Right, there's something that's a little bit different, but it's very interesting. It was, these little badges were made during the occupation as a form of resistance. You've got the V for victory and the King's head on there.
Well, I'll be.
Well, they just carved them out of a bit of metal or something.
They got a coin. They fretted them out of a coin, and then they sweated the V on the bottom of them. And what they'd done, they wore them under their lapels. When they seen one another in the high street or passing, they would flash them and then flash them back.
So it's a little bit of resistance, but you've got to be careful, yeah?
The V sign was used as a symbol of resistance across occupied Europe, as a piece of graffiti or as a morale-boosting gesture. Used one way, it stood for victory or freedom, and the other way, the Brits used it as a defiant insult to the Germans.
It's basically sticking 2 fingers up at the regime, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I have a love for this island, I'd love to own one of these. How much would you let me have that for?
If you're keeping it for yourself, not resale, you can have it for 50 quid.
Oh, lovely. Done that. Thank you. Listen, I've got to be honest, if I go home with just that, I'll be a happy man.
I'm not out to make money on this. It's a symbol of human spirit, decency and bravery. So to me, it's priceless.
Right, what else we got in there?
These books were printed here during the war for the Germans.
Okay.
I mean, had all the islands in them.
So it's a sort of book to familiarise the occupying troops.
Know a little bit about the history of the island and a bit about the culture.
Policeman there, look.
Yeah. I mean,
Bobby. Yeah, I'm interested in that. How much would that be?
100 quid, Bruce.
100 quid. I ain't even going to argue with it. I find that really interesting because it's the sort of thing that they probably got issued with, read, and then sent home to show that they weren't on the Eastern Front or something like that. And it's in really good condition, very good condition. No, that's nice. Yeah, thanks for that. Great.
Nice little bit.
Lovely. That book's so detailed it would work as a guide nowadays, as long as you speak German.
No, lovely. I'm chuffed with that. Right, what else you got in there, Al? It's a Kriegsmarine helmet, yeah?
It's got a nice net on it.
The Kriegsmarine were the German Navy, and you can tell this is their helmet from the special eagle on the side.
That's nice. Have a look.
I guess people do assume that if you're in the Navy, you're at sea on a ship.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
they were actually responsible for
Most
the
of the
defences
batteries, yeah.
along all the coast.
So, I mean, what sort of money would that be?
It's got to be £1,000, Bruce.
I mean, because of the history behind it, I'd give you 800 quid. 800 quid now.
Done deal, mate.
Lovely.
Okay.
Kriegsmarine helmets are always in demand and easy to shift, as long as the price is right.
Great start of the trip, Ollie. Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Freddie.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Freddie.
See you later.
Catch you later on. Cheers, Ollie. Tom, mate. Yeah, Sue, look, there it is. That's the Martello Tower.
Oh, I see it, yes.
It's virtually on its own little island.
I'm in the Channel Islands with Sue and Freddie to buy a Martello Tower, which is an ancient lookout tower adapted by the Germans during the Nazi occupation. Not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, to actually own one would be a dream.
Oh, there he is. His name's Ross. Pull up here.
Ross is the estate agent who will show us around.
Ross, good morning.
Good morning, hello.
This is it. Looks lovely, doesn't it, eh? It's Fort Samurai. That's how you pronounce it,
That's
yeah?
correct, yes.
Did you bring a brochure for
I
me?
certainly did, yeah, here we are. There we are.
Freddie. Oh, you can have a look.
Yeah, by all means, yeah.
You can pick the bunker you'd like to stay in.
5 million? That's a bit much for a bunker, Bruce.
There's the rub. The tower is in the grounds of a luxury villa with tennis courts and all the fixings. I just want the tower, but I think I've made a tactical error bringing Sue along because she's now eyeing up the accommodation.
I hope we will be able to see the house as well.
We'll see. We're going to have a look.
I have to see this. I'm just looking at the footprint of it, Bruce. Look at that.
Yeah. OK, we'll lead on then, if we can then, Ross. That'd be great.
Let's head over this way.
Oh, Bruce, look at this. I think this is what you're looking for.
Very much so. So that's the original sort of Martello Tower, the bottom half, yeah?
Yeah, that was definitely the concept.
The lower part of the tower is more than 200 years old, built by the British to guard against French invasion. The smooth concrete top half was added by the Germans during the war to guard against the British. But all these fortifications were never put to the test. Churchill didn't believe the islands were strategically important and they remained under Nazi rule for the entire war. It means this tower is in perfect condition. Anywhere else in Europe and it would be riddled with bullet holes.
You going to get up there?
I think I'm going to pass on this one, guys, and check out the views.
All right, you go and have a look at the views.
Have fun.
OK, all right. Up you go, Freddie.
Sue might want a nosy around the house and gardens, but if she wanted a room with a view, she should have climbed up here.
Oh, blimey, this is the real thing, mate. That's fantastic. Look at the views here.
Is that another tower over there on that outcrop?
Yes. Yeah, there's a whole network right the way along the coastline.
So you've got to imagine these things were manned 24 hours a day. So there was somebody in this room just scanning the horizon. If they saw something, they would send the information back to the famous Mirus batteries you've got up on the hills there.
To defend the islands, they had 4 huge Mirus guns, which the Germans pinched from a World War I Imperial Russian warship. A Mirus gun could take out a ship 30 kilometres away, but for targeting, it relied on the lookouts in the towers. The guns were vulnerable to air attack, so those cunning Germans disguised them as holiday cottages to hide them from Allied bombers.
You can see why the original Martello Tower was here, can't you?
Quite right.
'Cause they've got fantastic field of vision here.
This tower will be of historic interest 1,000 years from now. Now that's what I call a solid investment. Castle Crompton.
That tower is just awesome. Absolutely awesome. I mean, the whole place is fantastic. The tower would be a dream come true to me. I mean, is there a chance that the owners would be prepared to split it and maybe let the tower go separately?
Wouldn't like to dismiss the fact of maybe the house as well, because it is stunning. It's something very special.
I know it is, but I'm sure you'd have to break your piggy bank, my dear. But we'll see.
I'll have a word with the owner,
yeah,
and I'll see what he has to say about that, and maybe I could get back to you on that.
Lovely. OK.
Time to scarper before my Sue drops me in it with a £5 million bill.
5.3 million? You've got to be having a laugh, haven't you, you know?
That's a lot of money to pay for a bedroom that's in a bunker.
Well, I'm
not going to live up the top of it.
Well, it's lovely, don't get me wrong. I know, I mean, we'd have to drop Freddie's wages.
Bruce has dumped a German flamethrower in our laps and asked us to deactivate it. But the problem is, this thing is more dangerous now than it was 70 years ago. So to stop us getting barbecued, we've called in an expert.
Hello?
Hello, down here.
Yeah. We're down there.
How's it going?
Hello, Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Phil, this is Nick.
Nice to meet you.
Jason, who is an explosives expert, happens to have built working repro flamethrowers for the movies.
I brought this down. This is one of our props that we use in films. So if I put this down...
Dump that on.
There we go.
Oh,
right.
OK, the thing is with Bruce, he wants to sell this. Obviously, it's not in a very good condition and we want to make it safe.
Got to be extra careful with it. If the gas is released too quickly, it'll then suck it straight back into the tank, which then...
Ignite the tank.
Go boom.
Ooh. So actually, we're standing next to a bomb.
Potentially we are, yes.
I'm glad you're here. Right, we need to get this thing straightened out as quickly as possible then, don't we?
Yeah.
Is that noise coming out of there?
It's making a bubbling noise out of here.
Oh,
right,
do
so,
this quickly,
yeah,
then.
yeah. First stage, degassing.
The small cylinder contains pressurised hydrogen. This would shoot the flame 30 metres. We need to get it out without causing an explosion.
Looking on mine, I think it's this one.
This one here, yeah?
Yeah.
So if we just turn
Where
this...
will the gas come out of here?
It will, yeah.
Yeah, right. OK, let's just do this slowly. Yeah?
Yeah, there's a bit of a noise here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
OK.
There's nothing coming out now.
Is it
all right.
stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stage 1 complete. Next, we have to tackle the highly flammable napalm-like fluid. Right.
Just be careful, because this is really dangerous stuff. And one spark, one bang, it'll...
It'll go.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Ooh. Ooh. That's really nasty.
That's horrible.
Yeah, mate.
Is that all of it? I'd be careful shaking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that seems to have done it. Where do we go from here?
Final stage, I need to fill it up with expandable foam.
Yeah.
And then...
We're good.
We're good.
The expandable foam will prevent anyone from refilling the tanks. Although, you'd have to be barking mad to use this rusty old flamethrower. There we go. Job done. Look at that.
And it is deactivated.
So that's 100% safe. We can get that sold now.
Yep, that's now 100% safe.
OK, well, that's a big relief, isn't it?
Thank you.
Day 2 of my Channel Island hopping shopping trip. Freddie, Sue and Self are taking the ferry from Guernsey to Jersey. Sue to do some sightseeing, me and Freddie to track down a bloke called Simon Watkins. I'm told he's got an interesting stash of occupation memorabilia, some relating to his own family. I can't wait to see it.
That's where we were earlier, wasn't it, this morning?
That's the Peter's Port, that's the castle. Lovely though, isn't it? I could definitely live here.
During the occupation, the Germans impounded boats to prevent the islanders escaping. Between here and Britain was over 100 kilometres of water, laced with mines. One brave bloke called Dennis Vibert managed to conceal from the Germans a tiny rowing boat and used it to escape. After 3 terrifying days and nights of rowing, he managed to reach Blighty. And what happened? ATM Customs charged him with importing a boat and fined him 10 shillings. Let's hope our island mission is less traumatic.
His name's Simon Watkins and he said he'd meet us here, so...
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, this has got to be him.
Haha, there's your man.
Simon! Yeah?
No, I'm not Simon. I'm going to take you to him.
Oh, lovely. What's your name then?
Ricky.
Can we jump in the back then,
You make yourself at home, bud.
Right,
I shall pass and grab a taxi. I'm going to go to an orchid centre that's here.
OK. Right. Keep your phone on you and give us a bell,
Oh,
all right?
that's fine.
All right, we jump in the back.
I'll see you soon, yeah?
All right.
Cheers, Sue.
Oh, get out of the wind, mate.
Where's the seatbelt?
Oh, great.
Nice of Sue to take the bags. It leaves Freddie and me free to pick up some holiday goodies.
Must be it.
Is this it, Riggy, yeah?
We're here, lads.
Lovely, OK. Lovely. Grab my bit. Simon.
You must be Bruce.
Anna, mate, pleased to meet you.
Nice
This
to meet
is
you,
Freddie.
Bruce. Nice to meet you, Freddie. How you doing?
Yeah, lovely. Apparently, Simon is more of a collector than a dealer, but I'm going to use some of my Crompton charm to try and prize a few pieces from him.
Excuse me, mess. I'll use it as a storeroom.
No, listen, I like mess. I'm somebody that's right into mess. Mess means goodies, so, well, where should we
Come
start?
through here, come through here, and I'll show you a couple of bits and pieces. Pass those through to you. There you go.
Now, I like old suitcases.
Now, this is my granddad's suitcase.
It actually belongs to your grandfather,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, German binoculars, headphones.
Now, these headphones here, my grandfather was caught listening to a crystal radio set during the occupation, and if you were caught by the Germans listening to a radio, you get imprisoned and sent to France. And the German officer who caught him, he wanted to listen to the BBC News as well. So he gave him these Telefunken headphones and used to come back every week and listen to the BBC News with him.
To control a population, you need to control what they know and what they think. So the Nazis confiscated all radios. But the islanders secretly built their own using coils of wire and telephone handsets. Simon's grandfather was lucky. The German officer that rumbled him must have been a big Archers fan.
But originally, he was using just a telephone earpiece. And obviously, when he caught him listening to this, he says, we can do better than that, and came back with those.
Your granddad must have been overwhelmed to receive them and
Well,
fairly relieved that the German didn't turn him in.
Well, you got 3 sets of headphones as opposed to a sentence in a German prison. So, yeah, he was very lucky.
I'd love to get my hands on a piece of history like that. But this is a treasured family heirloom and not to be traded.
What else we got in here?
Here's my granddad's ID card.
Oh, is it? Let me know.
That should have been...
that was him. He's a good-looking chap, isn't he, eh?
Yeah. 1941, I think that was.
Is it?
Issued, yeah.
He's very similar to you, isn't he? Yeah. You've got his nose, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
No.
So this was issued to him by the Germans?
Yeah, every Channel Islander would have had an ID card.
That's a precious piece of history there, very precious. And is that one of the Red Cross boxes that was sent over here?
Yeah, during the winter of 44-45, a lot of people were actually starving.
After the D-Day invasion of Normandy, the Channel Islands were cut off from the rest of occupied Europe. The Germans and the local inhabitants began to starve. The Nazis finally allowed the Red Cross to send parcels, and these kept the islanders alive until they were finally liberated in May 1945.
They was eating cats, dogs, anything with 4 legs, weren't they?
Anything, yeah. I mean, they ate all their own horses to start with, and then obviously any pets left out and about soon went.
Just terrible. Frightening times. Now, what else you got in there? I can see other bits in there. What's that uniform up here?
That's in great condition. That.
Yeah.
As I say, uniforms are something we don't really normally go out to get, but with binoculars, we do purchase quite a lot of. Yeah, I mean, the optics are real, the lenses are really good.
These binoculars are exactly what Kriegsmarine lookouts would have used in my Martello tower. It makes this pair even more special.
Any chance these could be for sale?
I don't usually sell stuff, but I suppose I could...
I mean, what it is, Simon, I've got to be honest with you, I'm really keen to have items that were from Jersey, Guernsey, whatever.
Right.
This is something I'd be really interested in. I like binoculars. What sort of money would they be?
I don't know, really. I haven't really given it much thought. What would they be worth to you?
I'd give you 500 quid for them.
OK, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, 500 quid? Lovely, thank you. They're really nice.
I could easily flip these binoculars, but if I manage to close the deal on the Martello tower, that's where they should stay.
Thanks again, mate.
Cheers, good
really
to see you.
appreciate it.
Good to see you. All the best. See you later, guys.
Ta-da, mate. Where's the car?
Well, we came in a Dodge, didn't we?
We've got a pair of binoculars. Look, we're a taxi. Let's see if I can get a signal here.
The Nazis thought they were running a model occupation, but it was far from it. British Jews were rounded up and sent to Auschwitz. Slave labourers on the island were worked and starved to death. Many islanders risked their lives to help them, including Bob Lucere, who I'm told lives here and is now 96 years old.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you be Bob?
Yes.
Bob, my name's Bruce Crompton.
You're wanting to pick at what's left of my brain.
Absolutely. I'm assured you're the man to speak to.
Oh, do come in.
Thank you very much indeed.
Right, now, what is it you want to know?
I understand that you were actually here all through the occupation.
I was 19 when the Germans arrived. I was 24 when they were driven out.
Yeah.
Towards the end, we were reaching a stage which was not just hunger, but actual starvation, and there was no heating. So a lot of old people died of hypothermia.
And during the course of the occupation, while you were here, Bob, I mean, you must have seen these slave workers and the mistreatment that they had. Was there any local sort of support for them or help?
They were appallingly treated, appallingly. Some of these Russians escaped from their camps, and I was persuading local people to take them in. There was only one that I physically helped myself, and he spent a long weekend in the filing room of my insurance office.
Where did he go off to?
I got him into a lock-up garage, briefly, a garden shed. Well, it wasn't safe to stay in the same house for too long. Where that happened, there was a great risk of them being caught.
So did he actually get off the island, though?
Only after the war.
Bob is incredibly humble about his contribution, but he risked death by sheltering escaped Russians and was duly awarded the MBE for his bravery.
That might interest you.
Is that you?
Well, yes, it was. But that was done by the Russian escapee.
The guy that drew this is one of the very people that you helped escape.
Yes, that's right. He could do these pen and ink copies of photos. I received that as a totally unexpected birthday present, and only after the liberation did the Russian add his own name. It would have been too dangerous at the time.
Bob, thank you very much, sir. It's been a real pleasure and honour. I could sit and talk till, excuse the pun, till the Jersey cows come home. So, thanks a lot. You ready then?
It's been really interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Many thanks. And hopefully we'll be back to see you in the next couple of years. That water don't half look enticing. What's that like? Is it cold?
Got the ice cream?
No, your feet.
Freezing.
Gone numb.
Since we arrived, Freddie's been trying to get access to an incredible complex of secret Nazi tunnels, where they hid weapons and vehicles and goodness knows what else. Many of the islands had them, but the one on Guernsey is a massive rabbit warren, and no one's normally allowed in.
Just had a phone call, finally. Tracked someone down. He's got access to the tunnels, everything. He's expert on all the stuff. He wants to know if you're interested.
100%, mate. It's exactly what we want, is access to the tunnels, because there's still stuff in these tunnels. So it's all coming together now, on the beach. Very, very nice. What a lovely scene here.
I mean, I've never been here before, so it's great.
Is it freezing? I love it. Changed my mind. I'm not coming in.
I'm pretty sure this is the place he told us to meet.
I do worry when you tell me we're meeting men in car parks. The Channel Islands, the only bit of Britain occupied by the Nazis during the war. And after Freddie's call, we're about to meet a bloke who's going to give us exclusive access to the Nazi underground tunnel complex on Guernsey.
Paul? Hi, I'm Freddie. Been speaking to you on the phone.
Hello, Paul. Pleased to meet you.
Bruce.
All right. So you're the man that knows all about the old tunnels on the island, yeah?
Apparently so.
Can I ask you to lead the way? Let's
Sure.
go and see what we can find.
I'm going to go up through this
Lovely.
wooded area here.
Like a bunch of James Bond super criminals, the Germans dug an underground complex of tunnels to hide troops, fuel and equipment from aerial bombing. One tunnel on the islands was even used as an army hospital with 500 beds.
Oh, it's actually got a cage over it then, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty well secure.
I can't believe this. You imagine somebody had to dig this out, bare rock.
Well, any of these tunnels natural, or they all been dug?
No, all been dug and blasted.
So you think of all the slave labour that's been in there, mate?
After liberation, the British authorities sealed the tunnels up. I feel like Indiana Jones, and I don't know if the tunnels are safe, but whatever's in here hasn't seen light of day for a very, very long time.
Right, just climb straight over, Paul, yeah?
Yeah, straight over.
I ain't done this since I was a kid. Mind your crown jewel. There you go.
This is like the ruins of Pompeii. It's just like history has stood still.
There's all kinds of bits and pieces down here. I mean, they really did dump everything, didn't they? They're 88 wings.
It's an 88 wing, yeah.
Oh, the anti-aircraft?
Yeah. They must have had them all over the island.
Yeah, there were 6 heavy flak batteries here.
Yeah, I look round. Bullets. Look at those. That's interesting.
Everywhere you look, there are rusty relics. This is scrap heap archaeology.
Yeah.
What is that? Is some sort of ammunition limber?
Yeah.
But it's for all sorts of
Exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
Because a lot of people think the Germans only had, you know, armoured vehicles, but they didn't. Like, most of their army was horse and carts. The driver would sit here, his feet would go on there, the horses would be at the front here, like an old stagecoach. I've seen worse than this being restored.
Yeah.
You know? It's really interesting, mate. I mean, is there a lot more down here?
Yeah.
I mean, when was this one built, Paul? Do you know?
Work started February 42.
How many tunnels are there?
There are 21 tunnels.
And they're all sort of this scale? Or
no, there's a lot of small personnel tunnels for people to shelter in from an aerial bombardment.
Yeah, what's that? That's a half-track body.
Yeah.
Blooming hell, look at that. Now, there you go, that's really...
I'm blown away. This rusty pile of metal is the body of a rare German half-track vehicle called an SDKFZ 8. Built by Daimler-Benz and Krupp, it was used exclusively for towing massive German guns around, just like the Morris ones that guarded these islands. Only around 4,000 were ever built, so even in this rusty, dilapidated state, the husk of this half-track is a real find.
Blooming hell, that's incredible. I mean, it's knackered, but I've got to be honest with you, Paul, as a reference, this is invaluable. When we're doing things up, we're always having to refer back to historical photographs and bits and pieces like that, because a lot of this stuff just don't exist anymore.
I tried to restore one of these in the past, and we made mistakes because we couldn't find another to get a reference from. They were that rare.
Freddie, look, the way that seat folds down, we couldn't work that out. I mean, some of the original wood and canvas is still in here. That's, look at that. Horsehair. It's just all this, how this is made, how it's finished. People reproduce them, but they don't use the correct thickness. And although, look, I've just touched that, put hole right through it.
The twins are working on a similar restoration at the moment, so this could really help.
Paul, I've got to be cheeky and ask her, would there be any chance of acquiring this?
Well, our opinion is do you leave it here as something for people to look at when they come to the tunnel, but it's not going to last.
It's not going to be here that long.
We'll certainly have a discussion and see what we can do.
Having the real deal to study is far more valuable than any book, and I'm willing to pay up to $1,000 for this body, but first I've got to wait and see if it's for sale.
Bit eerie down here, isn't it, you know?
Yeah, drips and...
Great place for a rave, though.
The history of the Channel Islands is truly unique, and I'd love to spend more time unearthing stories of the occupation. But I need to jet back to Blighty. I've got a client interested in buying my authentic German Flamethrower. I've had the twins make it safe by deactivating it. And even in its rusty condition, it could still be worth $1,000. And to tempt my buyer, I'm going to film a demonstration with a modern one that special effects expert Jason's brought along.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Jason, who has kindly come along to join us today. with the intention of simulating what that flamethrower was capable of doing. Now, Jason has one that works on exactly the same principle, and what we're going to do is to take a video to show exactly what that flamethrower was capable of during the war. Luckily, we have got Hoos to try it out.
When the hell did that happen then?
Right, well, you know, you're good at this sort of thing.
I can't believe this.
So, over to you, Jason, if you could explain to him how to do it.
I'm through. Got your tank filled, pressurised. That releases the pressure to here.
That's the bursts.
And then that's your bursts. Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I feel dangerous now, mate. Right. Are we going to do this?
Oos, you've got nothing to worry about. Jason is here to hold your hand right the way through it. If it leaks a little bit, you get a little Brazilian. No problem. Now, you'll be fine. Don't panic. Honestly, Jason's here.
You're really making me feel confident here, yeah?
Look.
Jason, seriously, mate, let's... Serious, because I'm live with nerve now, yeah?
Yeah.
How safe is this thing?
If I don't stick beside you, just stay where you are.
Listen, let's give this a go. Ready? Right, this is a video that is going to demonstrate the Second World War German Flamethrower flamethrower. We're using a modern-day equivalent to show you exactly what it could do. Now, Hoos, if you would like to walk forward, we are going to demonstrate, first of all, the length of the flame that this weapon can achieve. Now, if everybody's at a safe distance, Jason, if I could ask you to light him up, please. Hoos, did you sign those insurance forms I gave you last night? Okay.
Are we good to go?
Good to go.
Right. Firing! Whoa!
And again, please, Hoos. Right, move forward slightly and fire at the sofa. Closer, please. Move in a bit. Okay, now move forward and to the left. Right, Hoos, fire at the shells and the sofa.
Firing! God, that's brilliant.
Right, slowly move forward, Hoos. Now, I'll just reiterate, the system we're operating here is identical to the Flamethrower that we have shown you before.
Firing!
Moving closer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, if you don't want to buy that after that demonstration, don't worry, because I'll keep it. Otherwise, get on the old phone and give me a call. All I've got to do now is send that video to my client and he'll be bashing my door down to buy it. Well, if that don't sell it, nothing will. But I've got to tell you, I'm off, because look what you've done to the place. What a time I've had. I nearly bought my very own Martello tower. This is the real thing, mate. That's fantastic. And landed some fascinating items from a part of the British Isles ruled by the Nazis.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of local history. And the Mad Turk put a flamethrower through its basin.
Whoa!